Now, I posted my experience with this first lawyer because that was, this is to sort of show, you're young, you want to make a difference. This is a guy that did everything he could to change supreme law, um, thinking that he was going to be doing something really, really good for people. That's why he became a lawyer, is to do something really, really good and probably make a good name for himself. But we as humans do things that harm each other. And in a situation that a lot of us that need these laws, we need these lawyers to go into court to use the laws that already are on the books. It makes no sense to have, good lawyers making laws that we can't even access. So while I'm having a conversation with somebody that's talking about Alzheimer's, and we're living in a world where everything is really good, and why does Alzheimer's just pop up? And um, there is a cause to everything. Every situation that I'm dealing with had a cause. Every lawyer that I've seen since 2001 was no different than this first lawyer, which when you get a second lawyer, and then a third lawyer, and then a fourth lawyer, and a fifth lawyer, and it's endless, and then the court problem becomes all of the court cases that are never solved, never dealt with, or either done something when I'm not even present. Um, the end of the day, I don't think everybody is doing something they think is harmful. Most people are doing what they think is best. And when they hear somebody like me make a complaint about the system, then they have these key phrases that they use. Oh, she just didn't like a court order. She just didn't like a judgment. And she's vengeful. We have all of these words that are used to criticize the people that are kind of recognizing, hey, something's wrong here. First of all, a justice system, if you're going to um, create an economic system, if you're going to create everything that we know that's right and wrong in our world based on our justice system, knowing the difference between right and wrong, if our justice system can't tell the difference between right and wrong, don't wonder why our world is screwing up. And it's these lawyers that, if they think they're making a difference, they need to wake up and start being a little bit more responsible and accountable. That, yeah, this is a divorce case, but a divorce case definitely affected four of my children. It changed who they are. And it's driving force for me to, do you think I would ever drop this? Do you think I would ever experience something so abusive, so widespread, that does so much harm towards children, and I would never talk about it again? I am going to talk about it, and I do realize that talking about it in a way that's vengeful gets me nowhere. I will fall into that category of, you just didn't like a court order. And what I'm trying to do is say, okay, I bet you any money there's a lot of really good judges, good lawyers out there that really want to do well, but you need to wake up to the reality that people in poverty are not afforded the same justice of people that are wealthy. And people that are wealthy take advantage of that. They can have you in court 24/7 while you need to have a job that feeds your kids. And that, I mean, they sit there and laugh at you and say, I can afford to be here in court every day, all day. Can you? How long can you afford to be off work? How long can you afford to even pay a lawyer to do this? So, and then, I mean, if you're even accused of doing a criminal act, I suspect it's even just as hard to get a lawyer that represents you just as fair. And a lot of times they're threatened to, you better plead guilty, or get a lesser sentence. You'll get 2 years, but for the rest of your life, you're guilty of a crime you never committed. And it's all because you couldn't afford a justice to find out what's right or wrong. And if there are police out there, if there are members of parliament, if there are representatives in politics, in our justice system, in our economic systems, you gotta understand there's a lot of things wrong with what's going on, and everything that's going on is going to kill us. They are genetically modified, changing our food system and our economic system, where we will not be able to find a job to be able to even afford to eat, which will eventually kill a lot of people. So whoever's in charge of these laws, these are mass killers. These are murderers. This is not the way we need to be running, the way our world needs to be run. And if it's not going to be these guys that really do care within these systems that stand up and say, hey, I'm making a change, something's really wrong. If this Daniel Colburn really wants to make a difference in his world, will he, tell me to shut down my YouTube channel because I called him out and sort of said, hey, look at who you are? Or are you going to make a stand and say, yeah, what's the point in me doing anything if nobody can have access? The people, the children that need food, actually need food today, not like 10, 15 years ago and then told to get over it. Being on a welfare system, I hope this lawyer who pays his taxes enjoys the fact that his taxes are going to support me financially, where I am capable of earning my own income if I didn't have to fight a system that's so friggin' screwed up. Because most of those lawsuits that were done were my ex-husband trying to get out of his responsibilities and making me responsible for them. There's very few of them that I initiated. Most of them were my husband trying to get me in court 24/7 while I had to work and feed kids all the time. So I really do believe, and I'm going to have an awful lot of faith, that there are people within our medical systems, our economic systems, our justice systems who can see that there's plenty wrong. If we really want to understand what's causing poverty, um, what's causing us to have a need on a welfare system, then we should take a look at our systems and do a redesign. Took me an awful lot to be able to even put the words together, to learn how to communicate this problem in a manner that I'm heard. Because yeah, it's an experience that makes you really angry, and when you look angry, you look like what your accusers will accuse you of. So I've had to sort of learn how to love my enemy in a way that doesn't make me look like, hey, look at these big bad guys all the time. These are the ones that we need to attack. But rather just sort of see the good side in them, that, okay, there is something good about them. But they can't recognize the problems that need to be solved. And there's got to be a way of communicating that. And that's what I'm trying to do, is figure out a way of, hey, what you're doing isn't all that effective. We need to do something a little different if you want to make a difference in your world. Otherwise, the whole system is going to collapse, and you can't even see the world collapsing. But what happens when the rich take over from the poor and the poor can't even afford to eat? We're going to blame the lawyers. So you lawyers must want to sort of make your system a little bit more fair, or we lose the whole justice system and create something completely different that tells the difference between right and wrong. Just my opinion. Peace out.